This week in our Eye on Money series, we are looking at costly mistakes people make with their finances. Failing to have a will is one of the biggest errors you can make. 58% of American adults have not prepared estate planning documents. That's according to a 2017 survey by Caring.com. We spoke to a Massachusetts woman who could lose the home she has lived in for most of her life because her stepfather did not leave a will.
I'm still in shock at the whole process of what they're trying to do to evict me and my family. Looking at these first thing in the morning makes my day.
Marcelle Harrison is fighting to keep the home she and her family have lived in for nearly 4 decades.
And I said, do you believe this, that I just received this envelope saying that I wasn't an heir to my stepdad?
Her mother and stepfather purchased the then abandoned property for $23,000 in 1980.
My stepdad did 90% of the renovation on his own. He was very proud because we had a place to call our own.
The home, now valued at over $1 million, is set to be inherited by a group of estranged relatives in Barbados.
He passed in 2011. He was very ill, and I had to take care of him 24/7.
Despite being raised by her stepfather and acting as his caregiver, Harrison has no legal claim as his heir. Under Massachusetts intestate law, properties pass to the nearest blood relative in cases where there is no will.
Well, my options right now, I will have to purchase it from the heirs. That is what I was told I have to do. The house means so much. Oh, I don't know the word to describe it, but this is home. To me, this is home.
Harrison hired a lawyer to help her explore her options. Her neighbors also created a GoFundMe page to help her raise money. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger writes about the importance of having a will in her new book, The Dumb Things Smart People Do with Their Money, 13 Ways to Right Your Financial Wrongs. Jill, good morning. And your heart just bleeds for Marcelle, right? And another example of why it is so important to have a will. She has taken care of her stepfather, and yet now she's in this situation. What can she do?
Well, she's done what she should do, which is she's hired a qualified estate attorney, not someone who closed your house, not somebody who takes care of your traffic tickets, someone who's very familiar with the state law and how it pertains to her situation. I think, unfortunately for her, this is something that has to be negotiated. She says we're trying to negotiate with the heirs and figure something out. But the problem here is, and it raises the hugest issue, this has already occurred. That is why estate planning mistakes are so difficult, because you can't go back and correct them. The person has already passed away.
A lot of people think planning a will happens when you're older in life, but you say anybody that owns property or has children should do so immediately.
I almost think that anybody with a heartbeat should do it, because estate planning is not just the will, which passes your possessions to your heirs, but estate planning takes into account who is going to make health care decisions for me? Who is going to make financial decisions, even if you just got laid up for a while? And I think the most important thing here is that, especially when we have these blended families, step families, second marriages, having these documents in place is incredibly important.
And you talk about 4 essential documents that people should have. What are they?
We start with the will, which is basically instructing the public what's going to happen with your stuff. But there is also a power of attorney. That is someone who makes a business or financial decision on your behalf. A healthcare proxy, who is going to make healthcare decisions on your behalf, and a general letter of instruction. This can be really helpful in just like, how do you want your funeral to go?
And how should you talk about or arrange paperwork with regards to your family and the estate going forward?
I think this is incredibly important, because sometimes people pass away, they have all these documents, and you're the heir, and you say, where is everything? Right. So you've got to communicate with your heirs and say, this is where the will is, here are the contact people, here's a list of my bank and investment account statements, here are the passwords to my accounts. You know, people are dying and they are leaving a sort of a mystery. Where is everything? Here is the name and the contact information of the attorney, of the accountant, and here are marriage licenses, divorce decrees, military papers if you need a military cemetery funeral. These things are incredibly important, and I'm begging you, please to get it done. I know it seems like you don't want to do it. It's hard, but you leave a mess in your wake if you don't do these things now.
Just look at Marcel's case quickly. What is an intestate law?
Intestate means you die without a will. So every state, when you die without a will, the state law actually is the law that dictates what happens next. And that's what happened to Marcel.
Oh, poor thing. Well, keep us posted on what happens next for her. Jill, thank you.